Okay, this is another very important CAC registration video that I really think you must watch, especially if you are doing this as a business. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to recover any business name at all. And I'll be showing you how to move a business name from one registration portal to another. So what I mean here is that there are some of you that encountered problems like when you were doing a registration, you either made a mistake with somebody's registration, or one of the most popular errors that people make is that they do registration for other businesses on their own account. And then by the time they want to complete the registration and pay for that registration, you discover now that your name is actually the name on the owner of the business. Meanwhile, this business is not for you, it's for your client. Now, the problem most time is that you have already lost that business name because you cannot use the same business name on another portal again since you have already reserved it with CAC. And if you're very good with business registration, you will know that business name is something that is very important, usually to the owners of business. So let's assume that a business has been operating with a business name for a long time and everybody already know that business with that name. And now you want to do the registration, you made a mistake, or maybe it's for one reason or another you need to change the portal from which you were doing that registration. But the problem now is that that business name is already existing on that portal and you cannot use the name again. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to purge and delete a business name from the CAC database so that you can actually use that name again if you want to start the registration afresh or you want to continue the registration from a different portal. And then I'm going to show you what to do if you need to move that business name and start registering it. Now, this is very important. It's going to work with any kind of business registration, either a business name registration, a company registration, an incorporated trustees, or just any business registration that you want to do at all. Okay, so before I take you to the computer and show you the practical steps on how to do that, let me briefly explain the whole concept for you to understand so that I can now show you the practical steps to being able to recover that business name and then you can use it to continue or to start a brand new registration. So what you want to do in this case is simple. Now, let's assume that you have a business name that has been reserved and the name of that business is ABC Limited. For example, maybe you now discover that you made a mistake by doing that registration on your own account. And then you notice that it is actually your name that is being recorded as the owner of the business. But now that name has already been engaged and then you still want to use that same name to start that same registration for your client. So what do you do? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to be showing you is first of all how to be able to use that business name again. Either you are doing the registration again on that same portal or you want to move it to a different portal. And then secondly, I'm going to show you what to do in case you want to move it from one portal to another. So the first thing you really want to do if you want to be able to still use that business name is to delete it from the CAC database. You will remember that anytime you are doing your availability search, you will notice that when you search for a name, if that name has already been registered or even if it's just being reserved, you will notice that you cannot use the name again. So what you need to do in this case is actually to clean or purge or delete that name from the CAC database so that when you want to start using that name again, the name will now be available for you to use. I hope you understand that. So what you're going to do is to delete the name from CAC database. And how to do that is simple. What you want to do, number one, is to do what we call a name substitution. I already discussed how to do name substitution in one of my videos. I will link that video somewhere on your screen and then I'm going to put it also in the video description. So the first thing you want to do is to do a name substitution. Now, if the name that you are trying to use again is ABC Limited, what I will do is that I will look for any random name that I don't really want to use. So I could just say CDE Limited is the name that I don't want to use at all, while the name that I'm trying to protect or to use again is ABC Limited. So I will go to my portal and then I'll do a name substitution for the ABC Limited that I still want to use. The whole concept is that I want to first of all take away the name from CAC database so that I can still use it again, okay? And what happens is that anytime you do a name substitution, the previous name that you are substituting will be removed from CAC database since you are substituting it with a new name. So I will now take my CDE Limited, which is the new name that I want to substitute the old name, which is the ABC Limited on. I will carry out my substitution, and once that name substitution is successful, then ABC Limited would have been removed from the CAC database, while the CDE Limited, that is the name that I really don't want to use here, will now be the new name on that particular registration. Do you understand? So now, what I will now do again now is that I can now go ahead and start my registration again. Meanwhile, the CDE Limited, which is the new name that I have substituted, will be the name that is existing for that registration which I made a mistake on. Now that that new name is already on the registration which I made a mistake on, I can go ahead and now use the old name that was on that registration before and start a new registration and then correct every mistake that I have made. So if the mistake that you made in your own case was that you registered that business on your own registration portal and it's your name that is coming out as the owner of the business, all you need to do now is to either create a new account for your clients now and then start the registration again on their own new account that you have created. And if you're watching this video at a time when CAC is not allowing a new account creation for public portal, all you need to do is to go to any accredited agent portal or even tell an accredited agent to help you do it. But the most important thing now is that that name is still available for you to use. And by the way, if you want to do this registration yourself on an accredited agent portal, I currently give some people allowance to be able to use our own accredited agent account for just a little fee so that you can go ahead and do this registration for your new client. I hope you understand what I've just described there. If there is anything that is bothering you and you don't still understand, you can always tell me in the comment box. I'll do my best to answer them. So now that I've explained the old theory behind being able to use that same name again, let's go over to my computer and let me show you the practical steps to doing this so that you will be able to protect that name that you made a mistake on before that is now existing on CAC database. Clean it up from the CAC database so that you can be able to use that same name to start a new registration and correct all the errors or all the mistakes or whatever it is that is the reason why you are not able to use or to continue that registration. Let's get over to it now. Alright, so I am in this dashboard right now, and here is where I want to do this name fixing that I just mentioned here. Okay, so what I want to do with this account actually is that this particular person made a wrong choice of registration. The person registered a business as an unlimited company, but now it was having different kind of issues, and then it tells me that, okay, what can he do? And I advised him to change from registering this business from an unlimited company and turning it into a limited company. But the problem now is that is impossible because the business name is already being registered under unlimited. But the problem with that is that it does not want to lose the business name that he used in making this registration because it's actually a big company and the name is already a very popular name. Okay, so what we now decide to do is that this registration that is being registered as an unlimited company, we are going to still leave it as an unlimited company, and then we're going to start a new registration. The only thing we want to do now is that we want to dummy CAC database because we actually need this name to do the limited registration, but now the name is already being registered under an unlimited company, so there's nothing we can do about this name because it's already been active. So what we want to do now is that we will look for another useless name that we don't want to use at all. We're going to place that business name on this particular registration so that we can move this particular name and then start a new registration with it. I don't know if you understand that. So to do this, all we need to do is to look to get a new name that we are sure that is not existing on the CAC database, substitute that new name on this old name. Once that substitution process is successful, CAC will strike this old name away from their database. And once that is done, we can start a new limited registration with this name again, because when we do an availability search for it, now it's going to be available for us to use. So that is exactly what we are going to be doing right now. So I will not want to repeat some of the things I've already taught in my previous video, because I already showed you in this video currently on your screen how to do a name substitution. All you need to do is to follow the steps and the processes of doing that name substitution, and make sure that this name that you still want to protect is going to be the name you are striking out, while you are going to place another name that is useless, that you don't really need, on this particular registration that is already ongoing, and then you can start a new registration with it. The only disadvantage to this method is that if you have already paid the 10,000 naira or the 15,000 naira, depending on the kind of registration you are doing before, then you will lose that money because you are starting a new reservation entirely. But if all you have done before is just name reservation and you have not gone ahead to pay for the main business name registration, then all you are losing is just 500 naira. Meanwhile, your business name, which is the most important factor to you here, is being protected, and then you can actually use that name to start a new registration. So that is all you need to do. And now, if you want to move this registration maybe from this particular portal to a different portal, this one is always very common with those of you that did not know that you cannot do a registration for a client under your own account. If that is your own case, all you need to do is to open a new account for that your customer using the customer's complete details, which I've already also explained in some of my videos. You will see the link to those videos in the playlist under this video. Or if you're watching this video at a time where CAC is not allowing public account to be created afresh, all you need to do is to come and use my own accredited agent portal so that you can run the registration yourself. All you will do is just to pay me a little token for using that portal per registration, and then you can go ahead and start a new registration with the business name that you have been able to strike out of the CAC database, and then you can protect this name, use this name again for a new registration. So it's just as easy as that. So that is it, guys. I hope you understand this video. Now, with what we have done, you can recover any business name or any company name that you either made a mistake on, or maybe you want to move the name from one portal to another portal so that you can continue the registration on that same business name. So if you got value from this video, please, as usual, give it a like, and I want you to help me share it on your social media platform so that other people can get to see this video. And if you're a first time or an unsubscribed visitor to this channel and you want to enjoy more business videos like this one, why not hit the subscribe button, turn on the alert notification so that YouTube can notify you whenever I publish new videos like this one. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.